guys, welcome to today's video. We have a foundation review to do today. We're talking about the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. So I was so excited to pick this foundation up as soon as it hit the US, which was just a couple weeks ago. I bought it as soon as it came out, and I've been literally testing it out non-stop since I got it, which has been about 2 weeks now. So as you guys know, I have a bunch of Charlotte Tilbury makeup already. I really am impressed. I really love a lot of her stuff, and I really love her as a makeup artist as well. So I was super excited to get my hands on this foundation. This is her newest foundation. So this foundation is $44. You do get 1 fluid ounce, which is your standard foundation amount. You do get a pump, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. When I first saw this pump, I was like, really? Like, it is like the cheesiest, most plastic pump on like a nice bottle that you could possibly imagine. So I don't feel like the pump really matches the quality of the bottle, but that's just me personal. So when I bought this foundation, I really had no idea what type of skin this was gonna be for. I literally just bought it because I can normally wear a variety of different types of foundations. I can wear dewy, I can wear matte. It just, my skin's pretty normal right now, so I can really use like a bunch of different variety of foundations. So I really had no idea what this was supposed to be for, but when I first applied it, I could tell right away it's definitely going to be more for like normal to oily skin, more on the lines of oilier skin. This is like a creamier, like thicker foundation. I'm gonna put some on my hand so you guys can see. It comes out very like creamy. It doesn't budge, it's not runny at all. But even though it's more of like a thicker, creamier feel, it's very lightweight on the skin. Like I was a little bit worried when I first saw it because a lot of times those foundations that look a little bit like creamier and heavier are like heavy on your skin. But this one I can tell you is not heavy. So basically the claims to this foundation, it's supposed to be weightless, anti-aging, it has some anti-aging properties in it. It's supposed to glide on the skin very easily, and it's supposed to give you full coverage to be able to perfect your skin if you have melasma, rosacea, and all those type of like skin issues. So it's supposed to be a more full coverage foundation. So my thoughts on some of those claims are that it's definitely weightless. Like I said, it's very lightweight. Like I was a little bit worried about that at first, but it definitely feels super lightweight on your skin even throughout the whole day. It's very weightless. It does hold onto your skin all day long. Like this foundation does not budge. Like it is very long wearing. But the part about it gliding onto your skin, I don't agree with. This foundation, I actually took this long to review it and like really test it out because I feel like this foundation is more of a like finicky, picky type of foundation. Like some days it would look amazing on my skin. Other days, I just didn't look right on my skin, and it all comes down to the fact of like how your skin is that day. If my skin was more dry, this foundation just did not look right. If my skin was more just like normal and I had, you know, a little bit of oil coming through and all that stuff like normally like I do, then this foundation looked better on me. And another thing, it also depended on the primer that I used. And I'm gonna use 2 different primers today to kind of see it side by side. But I really think that like certain days when I use certain primers, it really helped it too. So this is definitely a foundation that I really wanted to test like thoroughly, like all different ways to kind of really get my best thoughts on it. And I feel like it's definitely one of those like more picky foundations where it's not one that you could just grab on any certain day and it just looks flawless. I feel like your skin and all the other conditions like have to be right for this foundation to look really good. And also, while I was doing my multiple testing of this foundation, I tested it with brushes, multiple brushes. I tested it with the Beauty Blender for a while. I really enjoyed the Beauty Blender way better than the brush. I feel like the brush did not give like, it gave like patchy coverage. Like even when I was blending it in with the brush, I felt like it was patchy and a little bit heavier, and it just did not work well with the brush like at all. So I started using a Beauty Blender and it worked really good with a Beauty Blender. I had no issues at all. But then I started using my hands with this, which I never ever do with foundations, but I feel like that actually gave this the best results. So I've seen a couple reviews on this foundation, and I feel like the reviews on this are like all over the place. Some people really love it, some people don't like it at all, and that's because I really think it just depends on how you apply it and what your skin type is, and even primers. So I feel like if you have all those down, then you are gonna absolutely love this foundation, and especially if you have more oily skin. Like I just feel like this foundation is gonna be great for oily skin. So I'm just gonna cut to the demo, we're gonna see how it applies, and then I will check back in with you guys like later on the day, and we will totally check to see how it's holding up. So let's just cut to the demo. Okay guys, so I'm gonna use 2 different primers today with this foundation because like I said, this foundation kind of really depends on how your skin is feeling that day and the primers that you're using. So we're gonna test it out today with two different primers because I have used both of these primers with this product before. I'm gonna use the Dr. Brandt, the Pores No More primer. This is a mattifying primer. And then I'm gonna use the By Terry Terribly Denseless primer, which is a really, really awesome like anti-aging serum primer. And it's like a little bit more hydrating and stuff. So I'm gonna use these two today, one on each side, so you guys can really see the difference between primers, and we'll just check it all out that way. So I'm gonna take the Pores No More primer, and let's just prime this side. So I'm gonna use the Pores No More on the nose because that is definitely an area where I get oily, so let's test that out. And then we'll take the By Terry Terribly Denseless primer, and we will just apply that to this side. You can see this is like an awesome, this one feels so good on the skin. It just is such a good, it's got like so many like anti-aging benefits. It's really good for your skin, and it feels amazing, amazing on. It's one of my favorite primers. I feel like the By Terry primer makes your skin look so awesome too. It's so good. So I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury, the Magic Foundation. I'm gonna shake it up really good. This is definitely like a creamier, thicker foundation. So I've tried using this multiple different ways, beauty blenders, my hands, and brushes. I've tried every way possible, and I've really come to find that using my hands is my favorite way with this foundation. So I'm gonna pump a little bit of this out on my finger. I am in the shade number 7, and I'm just going to, you can see, I mean, it's definitely like a thicker foundation. So I'm just gonna take some, and we're just gonna start blending it in with my hands. And I never blend foundation with my hands, like at all. The fact that I'm doing this right now is so different from me. Okay, so that is it on my skin. Now I will tell you, when I use my hands, that is the sheerest application that I get. When I use a beauty blender, I can kind of get a little bit more coverage, and then when I use the brush, you can get a lot more coverage. But the brush I just did not like the way it turned out. It just looked more cakey and heavy. I prefer it to look more natural, so using your hands definitely gives you the most natural finish with this foundation. So here it is on my skin right now, just right after application. It looks really good, very much like skin. Doesn't, you know, it just looks very natural. I wouldn't say it looks, you know, it's not matte, it's not, you know, dewy, it's just very natural looking. You can see some glow and some skin coming through my face as well. So it's just very natural, I think. So again, that is because I use my fingers, but that is why I like to use my fingers the best with this foundation. So I'm gonna go apply the rest of my makeup, then I'll show you how it works with everything put together, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back with the rest of my makeup on. So this is the foundation with everything put together. I think it looks so, so beautiful. Definitely really love the way it looks. It definitely hides some imperfections. Makes my skin look really nice. It feels so lightweight on your skin, like it's one of those foundations that you just don't feel at all. The coverage, like I said, when I use my hands is a little bit more on the light coverage side, but I really like that personally. And I think it just gives a more flawless finish when you use your hands. And as of now, I'm not seeing any difference between like the two different sides where I use the different primers. They both look the same to me as of now. So we will check back in a couple hours, see how everything's holding up, see if there's a difference between the two primers I used with it, and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Okay guys, I am back. It has been just about 4 hours. That is as long as I can go today. I have a super busy rest of the day, so I wanted to check in now with you guys. I am definitely seeing some noticeable differences between the two sides of which primer I use. So remember, this side was the By Terry Denseless primer, and then this side was supposed to be the more mattifying, the Pores No More primer. And I'm gonna show you guys up close, but the side with the By Terry Denseless primer is so much more matte. My pores are way less visible, which is completely crazy. I don't know what's going on with this Pores No More primer today, but it's just not doing good right now with this foundation at all. And that's one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, because a couple times I used that primer and it just looked horrible with this makeup. So again, I really think it's just one of those foundations that's like picky, that you have to use the right products to make it look its best, and I'll show you guys up close. Okay, so up close here, we are going to take a look. This is the side with the By Terry. It looks a lot more flawless. Pores are a lot less noticeable. I see the makeup's kind of settling into a little bit of my lines here. Nothing horrible, but this side definitely looks better. And then this side over here is where you can see more oil, more shine, just more of my pores coming through. It just doesn't look as good. So that's what's so funny, like this Pores No More primer, I've actually used this a couple times with this foundation, and every single time it just made the foundation look blah. So I really think this foundation is just one of those picky foundations that you have to use the right products. Your skin has to be in the right condition, you know, more oily for this product to really look good. For me, it's just hit or miss with this foundation, and it's so funny, like I said, I've literally been testing it out for like 2 weeks. I just went through a breakout with my skin. My skin is still recovering from a good old monthly breakout, but I zapped that breakout gone so fast, but in the meantime, it like dried my skin out. So I tested this foundation with more dry skin, and it just looked horrible with dry skin. So I feel like you definitely want to have more oily skin with this. And even then, I still don't think it's going to be one of my absolute favorite foundations. It's a good foundation, but it's not my absolute favorite. So that's just my 2 cents and my thoughts on this foundation. Let me know down below what you guys think. I would love to know how it works for you, and I'll see you guys next time. I have another foundation review on another foundation coming up as well, so we'll test that one out together. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.